Let's take a moment and talk about Batman. Specifically, what makes him one of comic book's greatest martial artists and hand-to-hand fighters. We spent a lot of time on my channel talking about Batman as a martial artist, whether it be the people that he's learned from, the masters and teachers, or whether it be the fights he's had with high-level martial artists in the DC universe. And we've heard it all before. Batman's a master of all martial arts. Batman's a master of all known martial arts. Batman's a master of 127 martial arts. We've heard all these statements, but today in this video, I'm going to show you the evidence to support those statements. The only thing I'm not going to bring to this discussion in this video is going to be the fights he's had against high-level martial artists, because that would be too much information in one video, and I've already done a lot of those fights on my channel, so you can just check them in my playlist. And of course, all this information and more can be found on the Comic Talk Society Discord server, where we're constantly adding more information for new characters every day. If you want to learn how to join, just check my pinned videos. Let's start things off with some statements. Detective Comics issue 411. While fighting a League of Assassins member, the narrator, or the writer, states, "For he is a master of all fighting arts. His superb skill matched only by his courage." In Batman Son of the Demon, Ra's al Ghul implores Batman to teach his assassins how to fight non-lethally. And it is stated, "As in the following weeks, the world's most skilled combatant teaches Ra's al Ghul's assassins techniques in non-lethal warfare of which even they are ignorant." In Detective Comics Annual Issue number 1, in Lady Shiva's and Batman's first encounter, Lady Shiva says, "Ah, he exists. He appears. The Batman, the living legend. The man said to be the most skilled, the most determined, the most artful fighter in the world." In Batman 56, Bronze Tiger states to Batman, "Because, Mr. Batman, as good as you are, and you're the best in this world." And let's have one more statement, and this comes from Superman, World of New Krypton, issue number 3. And this will eventually tie into us showing the various different skills that Batman has. But Superman beats the shit out of General Zod's men. He utilizes pressure points, in which he said he was taught hand-to-hand combat by Earth's greatest proponent. He also taught me to learn my opponent's weaknesses. Which ties into Batgirl, issue number 29, in which Nightwing says there is no nerve strike he doesn't know. So let's move on to the people that have taught him to try to quantify how many martial arts that Batman has learned. In 52, issue 23, in the backup profile issue for Wildcat, it states that Wildcat taught many people the sweet science of boxing, including Batman. This is supported by Robin issue 31, in which we find out that Batman actually started training with Wildcat at a much earlier age. Now we're going to talk about Master Kurigi, who first shows up in Secret Origin. Master Kurigi is one of Batman's best teachers, and probably the one that he spent the most time with. The reason for this is simple. We find out in Batman the Knight issue 4, we get clarification that Master Kurigi is a master of all martial arts and manner of fighting styles across the globe. Kurigi had mastered all manner of fighting styles from across the globe. That knowledge was in his outstretched hand. And of course, Master Kurigi trained both Batman and Ghostmaker. In Detective Comics, issue number 734, we find out that a young Bruce Wayne actually trained with David Cain, similar training that Cassandra Cain had. In Legends of the Dark Knight, issue number 52, we find out that Batman learned the mystical martial art of Taoism, specifically the light side. However, it's in issue number 53 that we learn Batman also learns the dark side of Taoism, so he becomes the master of both forms. In Green Arrow issue 134, we learn that Bruce learned archery from Oliver Queen. We also learn from Batman the Knight issue number 6 that Batman learned from master archer Luco Jungo. In Superman Batman issue number 10, it is stated by Superman that Batman is versed in nearly every known weapon. We get a lot from Detective Comics issue 599. In this issue, we learn about other masters Batman has had. Here, Batman learns assassination techniques from Master Tudosamoto. God, I butchered that name. I'm sorry. As well from Master Chun-Chin Lee. While we don't specifically learn what styles of martial arts that he learns from this master, we do know that he fills in any gaps Bruce may have been missing, as well as he takes a dive into the mysticism. In Batman issue 509, while recovering from Bane breaking his back, we learn that Bruce actually is taught by Lady Shiva, not just in rehabilitation, but also in some of her unknown forms of martial arts in which he declined to learn the lethal ones. In Richard Dragon issue number 7, we know that Batman trains and regularly spars with Richard Dragon, among other people in the DC universe. We also see in JLA 61 that Batman regularly trains with Wonder Woman. But this isn't just a one-time occurrence. We learn in Secret Files and Origins issue number 3 that this is a regular thing that him and Diana do in order to hone their skills. In Batman Superman issue number 2, while fighting his Earth 2 version, Batman proceeds to use various different strikes that apparently only he knows, which shows evidence that there are some maneuvers in which Bruce knows that other people do not. In the Batman Who Laughs issue number 2 of 6, that Batman has a unique form of fighting called Bam Pow, which is of course a reference to the 1966 Batman TV show. However, it's worth noting that he made this style up, and it's a style that the Batman Who Laughs does not have, which shows that the main continuity Batman has styles that even other versions of Batman does not have. In Shadow the Bat, issue number 0, we see while fighting on a rooftop that Batman lists of the various different styles of martial arts that he sees and he knows, as well as where he learned them from. Not only does this support how much Batman has learned, but it also states that he fused them into something that is uniquely his own, which shows that Batman has his own styles of fighting, which are hybrids of various other styles. So what can we learn from all of this? Well, with Master Kurigi alone, we know that Batman's a master of all known martial arts throughout the globe. We also know that Batman has had training in the unknown martial arts, the secret martial arts, either by Lady Shiva or whether it's in the stuff like Taoism. We also know that Batman has created his own forms of martial arts that are wholly unique to himself and just known by Bruce, as well as being able to blend martial arts into his own unique style, which we know that he's trained and taught the Bat family in. We have evidence from people like Ra's al Ghul, Bronze Tiger, and Lady Shiva herself that he is the best in the world in terms of fighting. So where does that leave us? Is Batman DC's greatest martial artist? Is he a master of all known forms of martial arts, or all martial arts, or just 127? I think it's safe to say, based off the evidence I've shown you, as well as the plethora of information out there of Batman, that he is a master of all known forms of martial arts. He is adept and knowledgeable in some forms of unknown or secret martial arts. He also has created a couple of his own unique styles of martial arts, as well as he is knowledgeable exclusively in some moves or techniques that only Bruce knows. Does this mean Batman is DC's best martial artist? Well, I could make a very good case of it, because DC has done a very good job at being consistent in showing that Batman is one of the world's greatest martial artists. Through statements, in fights, in backstory, there's no denying that you can make a strong case for Bruce. However, if I'm going to give an objective answer, then I have to say, with the exclusion of Karate Kid, it is between Bruce Wayne, Richard Dragon, and Lady Shiva for this title of the best fighter in DC. The reason why I exclude Karate Kid is because he may be the greatest martial artist in DC, but the Legion is set in the future, not current day, as well as it's constantly rebooted and retconned with every iteration of the comic. Feats and statements and stuff that he had previously may not be applicable because he constantly gets rebooted with the Legion. So just to play it safe, I leave Karate Kid out of it. But what I love about Batman and DC in general is they do a very good job with statements, feats, backstories, and fights in which you can measure how skilled someone actually is.